Anyway, and carrying on from last time, the next group of villains was made up of Bane, Catwoman, Killer Croc, Man-Bat, and Penguin. Right then, let's get down to business. Now, from what I've seen, Bane has had two major kind of movie parts in the last couple of years, and neither of them have been perfect. Let's just put it that way. I mean, the first one was 1997's Batman and Robin, where he was played by professional wrestler Robert Swenson, and this version of Bane I have grown to hate. I mean, Mr. Freeze I thought was okay in this movie, Poison Ivy I thought was okay, but their version of Bane just... Let me put it down to you, neither version was perfect, but Robert Swenson's Batman, in the comics, Bane is meant to be a serious threat. He's extremely strong, fiercely intelligent, and even manages to break Batman's back. The Robert Swenson version of the character, he was reduced to just a mumbling, blubbering henchman, kind of pumped full of chemicals, to which, okay, he was addicted to venom, but that guy's not a serious threat. He's a basic henchman, a basic guy who just grunts. You can just tell him to do something and he'll go and do it. Whereas Bane in the comics answered to no one, or at least not easily. But that being said, the 2012 Tom Hardy version isn't perfect either. I mean, in the Tom Hardy version, they made it so he was a serious threat, extremely strong, fiercely intelligent, even manages to break Batman's back. The trouble is they removed the venom aspect of his personality, whereas in the comics he's an addict. He hates the serum, but he's forcefully addicted to it. It makes him super strong. There's nothing really you can do about it. So, somewhere in between Swenson's addicted guy and Tom Hardy's fiercely intelligent threat, there's a perfect version of Bane just waiting to get out. Maybe we'll just have to see if they can do anything within the next few years. I mean, Hollywood did plan with the Spider-Man franchise to make a Sinister Six movie, so maybe sometime in the future the people with Batman, like Warner Brothers, may decide to make a Secret Six movie, as Bane is apparently part of a group called the Secret Six. Anyway, next on the list is Catwoman. Now she is probably one of the most famous of Batman's villains, and there have been many different portrayals of her, such as by a range of different actors in the 60s show, along with its movie, where I think, although don't hold me to it, that she was played by, who was it? I don't know, but a range of actors played her in the 60s show. Now, the two big movie ones that we have were played by Michelle Pfeiffer in the 1992 movie Batman Returns, which is a fairly iconic version, clad head to toe in leather, doing great, looking fabulous and everything. And the other version was in 2012's The Dark Knight Rises, played by actress Anne Hathaway, who also did a fairly good one, showing the soft, sensual side of Catwoman, whilst also showing she could be a quite clever cat burglar and a threat when she needed to be. So, once again, she's a good character. Now, the third one is Killer Croc, and so far hasn't been portrayed in any movies. Is going to, though. Coming out this summer, Warner Brothers are releasing a Suicide Squad movie that apparently Killer Croc's going to be a member of the team. However, the actor who's going to be playing him, I'm afraid I cannot pronounce the name. I mean, no doubt I probably could try, but I'd probably end up offending a lot of people. So, with all due respect, I'm not going to attempt it, because I don't want to offend, or at least try to offend anybody. Well, but I can say he looks pretty good, he looks pretty faithful, so that remains to be seen. Now, the next one on the list, and the only one who hasn't so far had a movie portrayal, is Man-Bat. Man-Bat's kind of an odd character. I mean, the character of him in the comics, he is a scientist who tries to cure his deafness, and in doing so manages to turn himself into a bat-like creature with super hearings that can glide. I mean, the character, he would kind of be like Killer Croc or Clayface in the film, like something provided for maybe comic relief, but if they did it right, I mean, I think Man-Bat could be a good threat for a movie. It'd be a good way to show the kind of tragic fall from grace, like tries to do something and in doing so becomes monstrous. I mean, Hollywood have done it before, once again with the Spider-Man franchise, with Norman Osborn's Green Goblin, so it can be done. I mean, they have to get some good writers on it, but I'm not saying it, but I think it could be done. Anyway, the final name on this list is the Penguin. Now, once again, there have been several versions over the years, kind of portraying kind of comics, cartoons, everything. But the two main live-action portrayals I'd like to talk about, one is by Burgess Meredith, who did the 60s series and the 1966 movie that went along with it, which has become fairly iconic, I'll grant you that. And the other one was by Danny DeVito in 1992's Batman Returns. Now, kind of following in the footsteps of Burgess Meredith, that's always going to be a problem no matter what. I mean, the guy became an iconic version of the Penguin. But Danny DeVito, I think, did pretty well. I mean, he showed just how kind of disgusting the Penguin could be, but also kind of how kind of pained he was inside, like what his life had turned him into. So I think he captured the kind of more sombre side of the Penguin very well. I mean, he could have played around a little bit more with the kind of comical aspects, but then with the feel of Tim Burton's movies, it was probably best he kept to the darker side of things. So, kind of all in all, with this thing considered, Bane, there's a perfect version in between Swenson and Hardy that's trying to get out, and maybe we'll see someday. Catwoman, she's doing pretty well. Killer Croc has got a good performance coming up later this year, we hope. Man-Bat's still kind of an untapped resource that can be tapped into, and Penguin seems to be doing pretty well. Now, the next video that I'm going to try and do about these villains should focus on the villains Mad Hatter, Harley Quinn, Scarecrow, Killer Moth, and Joker. Something to look forward to. See you later.